F105 breaking through on Rebel Girl. Hello, everyone. This is James. Is really joining me is Ender Fantasia on the Rebel Scum podcast live stream. We do this every Monday, but next Monday we're not supposed to be doing it because it, of course, is Thanksgiving here in the Great White North. However,
right.
Rumors are circulating, and it seems like next week is going to be the week that we are going to see the trailer for the Rise of Skywalker. That is Star Wars Episode 9. Could it be next week? Possibly. Andrew Fantasia, what are your thoughts on us seeing this trailer 1 week from today on Monday Night Football?
You know what? I was for some reason all week long I was thinking, ooh, Monday the 7th, which is today, might be the day we see it. And then literally for the past 4 hours I've totally forgotten about that. And now that you bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Monday Night Football, but it's not happening tonight. I think the odds that we get it next week though are very, very good. We're also supposed to be getting a trailer for James Bond 25 at some point within this, early October. So I'm waiting for that to come at me, Hollywood. Where are your trailers at? But we got stuff today, James. We got a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about that today, particularly some images that came out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Some images.
Images. I am not talking about any images. You are looking at spoilers. I am not looking at spoilers. So,
what about the crazy thing you showed me with the footprints?
That was an artist rendition of. They made their own poster for New York Comic Con to sell. So that is actually not a spoiler. That was just something. But there's a lot to be seen there. You saw there is a leak of Monopoly, which is making its way all over the internet, and I'm avoiding it, but you have no backbone, so you went right for it.
Well, that was on Screen Rant. I just kind of, I hit the Screen Rant every day and see what's what, and that Monopoly thing was right there. So it just kind of popped up in my face. But no, yeah, the Palpatine thing with the footprints, I thought that was real until right now when you said it was like a special thing. So
yeah, it's fantastic. That Monopoly. So I didn't look at that. I mean, you sent this, so I did look at it, but I didn't look at it on purpose. However, there is a brand new Star Wars Monopoly that is out right now. So maybe that's a piece from that Monopoly board. So maybe it is not actually a spoiler, but I guess we should kind of forewarn everyone that spoilers could be mentioned in what we're about to say here. That being that some information regarding planets in the Rise of Skywalker have been kind of shown. Is that it?
Yeah, they said a name. They said some other things. If you don't want to know any spoilers, if you don't want to know how BB-8 dies, put it on mute right now because we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, right. So the live chat. Okay, so once again, this happened last week. This week again. Look, if I go on my database, it says unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. So I go on the YouTube page and I see everybody is here. Miles McGrew is here. Joshua, Alice, Heidi, Michael's here. Pete's here. Rural's here. We got people in the chat. This is awesome. It's going to take me forever to read all this.
That's great. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us on our merry ride through horrible internet connection. You're right there alongside us, though. Thank you. We appreciate that.
I'm trying my best not to look at leaks, as Paige is saying that. You just can't stay away from them. It's impossible. It's not impossible. I'm doing it. I'm doing a terrible job, but I am doing it. So now I always, when we're doing the show, I always Google this show and the main show, which is Wednesdays, 7 p.m. on the show. I Google Star Wars, and it's tough. It is getting tougher now. It's hard to, because everything's like that one that you sent me. I saw the headline for it. I was like, no, no. And then you're like, James, I'm gullible. But again, if that's the Monopoly game that was just released on Triple Force Friday, so this coming main show, Brock and I kind of revealed what we got on Triple Force Friday. There is a video online where you reveal what you got on Triple Force Friday. Right before we get into all this stuff, what was your experience like? You're just for everybody watching live. What was it like for this Triple Force Friday? Would you hope for a fourth Triple Force Friday, a Quadruple Force Friday?
Quadruple Force Friday. No, I think triple's good. I had to. I'm glad you asked because I wanted to add sort of a addendum to the video. Because at the end of the video, I kept stating how, like, I was saying, I found most of what I wanted, and I kept saying, like, oh, it was mostly a success. Like, I came across sounding like it wasn't 100% success, but I didn't know till afterwards that a lot of the toys we saw in that Star Wars show special won't be available till December. I don't know. Nobody told this guy that. You know, the Star Wars show was all like, oh, it's coming out Force Friday, Force Friday. So I just assumed, okay, everything's coming out Force Friday. You don't tell me dates. I'm just going to look at the one date that you are pushing in my face. So when my friend, who's like a Hasbro junkie, and I don't know how, but he buys every single Hasbro toy that they make, he told me, I was chatting with him all day. I'm like, oh, I found this, I found that. And he mentioned to me, he's like, yeah, man, Cara Dune and Janna and IG-11, those guys aren't coming out, and C-3PO with the Babu Frick thing, those aren't coming out till December. So he was like, don't, you know, because I kept saying like, oh, nobody's got Gina Carano. And he's like, yeah, nobody will have Gina Carano until December. And that made me feel so much better. And that was unfortunately after the fact that I had put together the video and stuff. So if I was to make the video again, I'd be like, hey, I found everything I was looking for because everything that came out that I wanted, I found. Now I just can't wait till December. He also told me a cool fact that I didn't know, that all the Black Series that I've always talked about wanting with the whole Ezra and Chopper and 000 and Afra and all that, he said they were never, as far as he knows, never released in stores, at least here in Canada. They were only ever online. So I come to the conclusion that Hasbro just officially does not want my money. I think that's all.
I've sent you multiple links to the figures on Amazon. You need to just buy on Amazon. Just buy on Amazon.
I know, but I don't like Jeff Bezos, and I want to try to avoid buying off him if I can.
It's so
much nicer to walk into a store and be like, hey, there it is.
I will tell you that you're absolutely wrong, because I went in stores multiple. I'm still trying to get my hands on this Empire magazine. Take my money. They won't take my money, so I don't have this Empire magazine, and I'm not reading it online, but I want to do an episode of the podcast about the article, but I'm not doing it till I have it in my hand. So it might be June. We might be doing the Empire magazine in June. I went online to order it online. You could order it online, but it's British, so it's in pounds, and it was like 9,000 Canadian dollars.
Yeah,
to get it. Go. So yeah,
plus shipping. So no thanks.
But I got what I wanted on Triple Force Friday. I thought it was a little lame, to be honest. It was missing a few things. Here. I saw like Target got everything that they wanted. So
yes, they did. Yes.
So, but off the top of this show, you mentioned a little poster. I'm going to show. It's our thumbnail today. I'm just going to show our thumbnail. And it was a beautiful work of art. You didn't know that it was an artist's rendition, so why don't you? So let's ignore that fact right now and just walk me through what you initially thought of this. Because one thing that's not in our thumbnail is the eyes of SheVP.
Ooh, yeah. Well, when you sent it, my first thought was like, okay, first and foremost, I thought it was a real promo image, not, the new poster, which will be coming soon as well, but just a promo image, like a Walmart poster kind of thing. And I looked at it and I was like, this is really cool, but this is really metaphysical and out there and not normally how they pimp out a Star War. This is very left field. So I was impressed that they were taking this very psychedelic kind of road. And I went down this rabbit hole where I was like, okay, if their marketing is going to be psychedelic, then God only knows what the actual movie is going to have going for it. So it just sent me through this spiral of like how Sergeant Pepper is Rise of Skywalker going to be when December 20th rolls around. That was where my head went.
So the artist is Fernando Reza. It's from New York City Comic Con. I thought, when I first saw it, I thought it was like a leak that somebody saw, but I did read that it was from New York Comic Con. And I was trying to figure out why it wasn't promoted a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But the idea, the concept here with the footsteps walking, right away my mind went to Rey, these are your first steps, and she's walking toward SheVP Palps. And I was like,
Don't we all want to be walking towards CVP Pelps?
Not in the slightest. But like, I thought that was, and I haven't obviously spoken with this artist about this, but I thought it was a very, very unique and cool perspective of this, having her walk towards what seemingly is her destiny.
Yes, yeah, I like that a lot. It gives you a lot by giving you little. It's very well done.
Target has mystery boxes. I'm reading this right now, and we don't have Target.
No, we had a Target back in the day, but it failed miserably.
But it failed because didn't they like have their like storage centers like in the wrong unit measurement? They didn't convert it to what metric and it was like, oh my god. And so they all shut down because they had like, I think they had way too many products. And then when they shut down, everything was 5 like 0.5% off for like a month. They're like, huge sale, 5%, then it was 5, and then 10, and then 15. And then I think at some point it went up to like 20, and people were like, gotta get it.
I didn't know that detail. All I knew was there was a store before Target, and I think it's only in Canada, called Zellers. All right. And I got to tell you guys, I was pissed when Zellers went away because, there was big news. Everybody in town was talking about we were getting Target. Everybody was like, oh my God, we have Target now. But Target was replacing Zellers. And I loved Zellers because it's exactly like Target. It's a lower scale Target. It's not the
to
nicest
say the least.
stuff. But it's a big box convenience store, lower scale. But Zellers had a 50s diner inside. I think it was called like Cafe Z.
Could you get a breakfast for like $1 in there?
Yeah, and it was decent food. And I love 50s diners. I love diners, period. I love
shocking
greasy spoon breakfast kind of thing. So I would go in there all the time in high school, and we would get like breakfasts and stuff. And when that went the way of the dinosaur, I was very sad. And I was like, you better be worth this, Target. You better be worth me losing Cafe Z. And you were for about 45 minutes, and then you shut down. So,
yeah, they were only here for a couple of years. So anyway, we don't get all of that fun stuff. The thing that this artist got. So I'm on his website right now. Alice is asking if this was officially licensed by Lucasfilm. I don't believe it was. However, I find it strange that I don't know how things work. To be honest, I just thought maybe he'd have to get some kind of permission to sell it over at something like Comic-Con, but I guess not. Like when you go to fan expos, you always see people with their like Star Wars merch that is so far from being licensed. It's it's just not licensed. But this one was so cool. They should definitely look into it. He got the color scheme was down. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen a nice copy of this. I've only seen this. It's like this one person took a picture of it and it blew up everywhere.
Yeah,
and it was probably I think it was him that actually took the picture. But the color scheme looks like it's right on par with what they did. The one thing I noticed, I saw the poster in person, and I didn't take a picture, but I saw the poster in person somewhere, and I realized that Sheev's eyes look they give it more cartoony in the poster than when I saw it on my computer screen. Like when I saw it like big, I was like, oh, it looks like Sheevy from Rebels.
Yeah, it's very cartoony. And for the official poster, it's a strange way to show him. I'm curious now if he's going to be on like the legit poster, like the air quotes Drew Struzan poster that we'll be getting at some point when the trailer hits, maybe next week. I have a feeling he won't be.
Yep, very much possible. Guys, let me know when you guys think the trailer for Rise of Skywalker is going to drop, because I would really like to know. I'm just looking at this at the artist at the Fernando Reza's page to see more. He's got some great prints. Actually, I'm not going to lie. Okay, so this was coming up by everybody. Everybody was thinking about this. Our friend did mention this along with everybody on social media. The first thing they thought, media. The first thing they thought, social media. The first thing everybody's mind kind of went to when they saw this poster was the world between worlds. Mm-hmm. Is there a shot in hell, which hell exists in Star Wars? Han Solo says it.
That's right.
That we get a glimpse or a comment regarding or some kind of hint at the world between worlds.
I think if we do, I would say there's like a 40% chance of it happening. But if we do, it's a very, very, very subtle glimpse or subtle reference. It's not like we got in Rebels where they went full tilt metaphysical, walk on this Super Mario Rainbow Bridge world and just like, go through portals and end up in different times and places. I think we're going to see a small pocket of that if we see it at all. If not, I think we're just going to see something kind of trippy and forcey, and we won't really know what's going on, like some kind of force vision. And then later in like March, JJ or whoever will reveal, yeah, that was supposed to be a part of the world between worlds. But I don't think it's going to be spelled out in the film because that might alienate some folks. I don't think Mr. Pasquale Razile is going to be like, hey, where's my world between worlds?
He totally. So. You introduced that. This is the thing though. Is like my dad loves the prequels.
Yeah.
Which he's like they like midichlorians and all, and he's like doesn't think about it. But you put a Star Killer base, he's like, that's just the Death Star. This is ridiculous. Or you put a train in Solo. He's like, why do they need a train? They have flying cars.
I love how much that train got under his skin. That was his biggest takeaway from that movie. Like, a train?
He still talks about it to this day. He's like, why is there a train? And I have no answer. I think it looks cool. Everybody likes a good train track. It's a lot of fun. Erin just came in and shut the door. She's like, very loud. Very loud.
Sorry, Erin.
Yeah, and she's like, you are the worst person on the planet. Okay, we're going to get a trailer, let's say, in a week. What are we seeing in that trailer, Andrew?
Okay, we're seeing Rey training some more in the woods, I think. We're going to see, I think we're going to get some lines of dialogue from our main homies, particularly, I want to say Finn or Poe. I think they're going to have some lines. I think we're going to see some more of those horses because we haven't seen those in like a year. I think we're going to get an actual shot of like Finn and Jan on the horses moving around. We'll definitely get that picture we saw of Kylo being like, ooh, ooh, and all the stormtroopers are flying. I think we'll get that in motion for like half a second. And I think we'll get some ships, some space battle. I don't think we've seen too much of that yet, except like, the stuff in the air, but no like fighting. I think we'll see ships fighting. And then I think they'll cap it off. The stinger at the end of this trailer is going to be, oh God, I think it's going to be Force Ghost Luke. Like clearly as a ghost in a scene talking to Kylo. I think that's what we'll get. What about you? What are you looking at?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what this movie's about. Like we got Dark Rey. Do I even want another trailer?
It's about Dengar. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's just more Dengar. Here's the thing. A trailer dropping on Monday lines up with the last two Skywalker saga films, the episodic films. Doesn't line up with Rogue One or obviously Solo. But the thing is with those ones is we never got a trailer in August or a PS to a trailer in August. We never got that. We got the trailer, and then a few weeks later, the international trailer dropped, if I'm mistaken, for The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm being completely honest with you, as much as I think I want to see I want to see the movie more than another trailer. I think I've seen it. I've seen enough. But that being said, I don't think the general public has seen enough. I think they want to see more, and I think. But what I'm curious about is what more are they going to be allowed to be seen, because we know Hasbro has only released 30 to 35% of their merchandise for this movie. The rest is all spoilery, I guess, in some capacity. I don't understand how. So if they're rolling off that many figures and books and toys and whatnot, what can they show in this trailer that we haven't already seen? A little bit more like Rose and Hux, maybe, unless Hux dies in the first scene.
Oh, I hope not. I love my Hux. No, but I agree with you. I feel the same way right now that I felt at this time 2 years ago when Last Jedi was coming out, which is what you're saying. Yeah, trailer is cool, but right now, all I'm really excited to see next week is that poster. And then eventually the movie. Like, I'm good. I know I'm going to like this. You're right. You're absolutely right. This trailer now is for everybody else. It's for everybody who's just a casual fan. But that poster gets me hot and bothered. I want some poster action.
Did they? The Force Awakens, they released the poster, and then like 2 days later, the trailer dropped. Did they do that for the Last Jedi? I don't think they did. I think it was
the same day. The Last Jedi, I think.
Here's my problem with this coming. Monday is our Thanksgiving. Aaron and I are going to my parents for Thanksgiving, so we'll be there for the day. We'll come back. We're not supposed to do a live stream. Of all the Mondays to not do a live stream, that's when we're not supposed to do a live stream. If the trailer drops, we'll probably do something. Here's the thing. Buying the tickets afterwards gives me anxiety. I'm already getting heartburn thinking about it. Like the ulcer is already starting to form. I can't take it. I don't want to. Here's the thing. There's going to be like 10 of us going to go see it, which means you have to buy tickets. And Cineplex here won't let you spend more than $150 on tickets at a time online. So that means I'm going to have to try to buy it. But then what's going to happen is it's going to cancel, and that row, that perfect row that I selected, is going to be gone, and somebody who doesn't even like Star Wars is going to end up sitting in it. I'm going to be in the row behind me with 10 seats that I'm going to have to go to customer service over chat again to help me get it. It's frustrating. It's annoying. It nags me out buying tickets 2 months of it. It's just like, oh my gosh. Already I'm sweating. Can you guys see the sweat?
I forgot about that chat where that wonderful gentleman had to help you out over the thing. When it comes to the big movies like this, you're right. When it comes to buying the tickets, I kind of resign myself to the fact that I'm not going to be sitting with the people that I'm with. I just kind of already resigned that that's a given, because they do sell out fast, man. And I feel you. When it happened with Force Awakens, with Rogue One, and with Last Jedi, I would be on the phone with my cousin, and he'd be like, okay, quick, go to Cineplex. And then we're like scrambling to get our credit cards, and like, oh my God, the timer's ticking, because there's that timer on the bottom where it's like, you have 4 minutes to make your purchase. And I'm like, oh my God, what seats do you want? And then I have to refresh the page because something happened. And you breathe only when it's over. It is like 5 straight minutes of no breathing, because then you can finally sit back and look at that check mark that says, okay, you have seats. You will be seeing Star Wars at the day and time that you want to see it. So that's the part I'm not looking forward to either. I just want it to be over and done with, so I can have my seats and go in there.
I'm gonna charge you with getting the tickets. You're in charge. Yeah! The Force Awakens, actually Rob got the tickets for us. And you know what actually annoyed me the most about that? It was not Rob. I mean, Rob annoys me anyway. No, not really. But is he got the tickets, and then at midnight he's like, oh, by the way, like 17 more theaters opened up. Like rooms. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, now you can go anywhere. And they were all like, IMAX was available, VIP was available, everything was available at midnight. More opened up. I'm like, well, this is like Triple Force Friday, where they got me in there too soon. It nags me out. I want to talk about the Star Wars lie. The Star Wars lie. What is the Star Wars lie? This is what I mean about it. I showed that poster to Brock, and he thought it was real. Obviously, we all did. And he said, I sense a lot of red herrings. And that... Andrew's house is about to burn down live on YouTube. What?
I don't know what's going on here. 1 second. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves.
So anyway, this is hilarious. Andrew! I can't stop laughing. So, I'll tell you guys out there. We'll remind Andrew when he comes back. Well, at least we know it works, so that's good news. No more smoking. Look at him. This is ridiculous. Anyway, Brock's reaction was a lot of red herrings. A lot of... No, everyone's... Oh, I gotta take him off the screen. I'm gonna do this. This is just funny. I'm gonna keep laughing though. We'll look at this poster again. He thought it was a lot of red herrings. And I kind of was siding with him on that in a lot of ways. Like, well, what kind of red herrings are there? And then you think of Dark Rey, and then there's Kylo Ren. There's Kylo Ren. I muted Andrew. Andrew, you back?
Hey, sorry, I muted my mic just so I don't annoy anybody. Sorry about that. I have no idea what set that off. It might go on.
It went off again. Anyway, so there's a lot of red herrings going on. There's a lot of red herrings going on with the Rise of Skywalker. Dark Rey, but the big one for me is this Kylo Ren character. We see Kylo Ren I'll show in the Vanity Fair. Let's pull up the Vanity Fair. By the way, check this out. I gotta show you guys this. I got this at Niagara Falls Comic Con. Aaron Quinton, good friend Aaron Quinton, was there. Fictiondesigns.ca. This is a gong droid. Look at that thing. I love this thing. This is a cool enamel pin. Anyway, look at this. Kylo Ren is not wearing a mask. Everyone's got this Vanity Fair cover, or they've seen it anyway. Kylo Ren, yeah, I'm just talking about red herrings. Kylo Ren, in all promotional material of like Toy Story and whatnot, he's in his mask, full mask.
Yes.
Vanity Fair, I think the trailer, he's not in his mask so much. What's going on with Kylo and his mask? At what point does he get his mask? And Dark Rey, is Dark Rey just a massive red herring?
I feel like she almost has to be because she's in a trailer. But the Kylo Ren thing, I have a feeling it's going to be like Spider-Man 2. You know, where in Spider-Man 2, there were any excuse to get Peter to take off his mask, and they took it. That's what I feel like is going to happen. Like, he'll have the mask, and it'll be cool, and he'll have that scene where he's like, my mask has red on it now. I am completely Sith. But then every opportunity that comes up, like even like Hux will say something to piss him off, and he'll be like, listen, you, and he'll take it off so we can see his face, and he'll be like, blah, 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 blah. I think there's going to be a lot of that going on where I think some people are going to be annoyed and be like, why even bring back the mask because he's going to take it off so often. I feel like that might be a thing that happens.
Yeah, do you think Rey will be that whatever Dark Rey is, let's just for the sake of sakes right now, Dark Rey is a clone.
Mm-hmm.
For argument's sake, she's a clone. Do you think Dark Rey's in the movie for more than a scene, a split second of vision?
I think there is a world that is a very possible world where that is just a vision. But I think that might upset people who got excited about Dark Rey. I don't think she's going to be dark for very long. I don't think anybody thinks she's going to be dark for very long. But it would be a really interesting twist if she were, especially because we all know now the movie's going to be 3 hours and 47 minutes. So yeah, take all the time you need to have her be Dark Rey. I saw a thing just earlier this morning, actually. There's a YouTuber, like just a kid, a guy named Tight Talk, and he was talking about that trailer, and he thought that because it looked like Rey was wearing Snoke's ring in that shot, and he went on this whole thing where he's like, what if when you're wearing the ring, SheVP's got you and is using you like a puppet? And that really intrigued me too. So there's a lot you can do with Dark Rey, and I feel like with Dark Rey, I'm good with what I saw. Now I'm just gonna hold off and see what happens because there's so much in that can of worms that I feel like I could get lost in it if I'm not careful.
Yeah, somebody just said, I can't remember who it was, so forgive me, that they think what we've seen in the trailers is the beginning of the movie, basically. And I completely agree with that. I don't think we've seen much of the film so far. I think we've seen a lot of the first 20 to 30 minutes, but that's about it. Which is intriguing because we've seen some pretty cool stuff so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen a lot of cool stuff. I feel like we've seen much more than the Force Awakens trailers gave us. Like, I feel like we're getting a lot more of the movie, but somehow I feel like they're being more secretive at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah, no, definitely more secretive and all of that. But what about the idea that Kylo Ren was never actually bad, and he's been doing what he's been doing this whole time to infiltrate SheVP?
That would be interesting, but that would be really hard to... I don't know. You gotta get really creative with the way you show that on film, with the way you go back and pull a reveal and be like, hey, this is what was really happening all the time. I wouldn't hate it, but I would be bummed if they did it in a cheap feeling way. Do you think it's a possibility? Do you think that might actually happen?
No. I mean, anything's a possibility. My thing is, what's up with the Knights of Ren? Where have they been?
Yeah. I'm thinking more and more that they are Rey clones And because I just
They're
feel
not
like
they're not Ray clothes.
I know how
You just
crazy.
pissed off rural farm boys so much. Well, keep going, keep going.
I know how crazy it sounds to think that, because that is such a Mike Zero thing to think. But I feel like if there was other people under those masks, we would have heard some casting, something. We would have heard something about like Joe from such and such is in an undisclosed role. And I know, yeah, you're right. The Praetorians, you're right. But I don't know, man. This is a different animal, I think.
They're definitely a different animal, but no, I don't like if they don't take off their mask, then it could just be stunt doubles in there.
It could be. But would you feel like, I know you're a big fan of the Praetorians, I love them too. But would you feel that if that was the case, if they just ended up being stunt people who just fight and they barely ever talk, if they do it all, that it would just be cheap? Like, would you feel like, oh, I just got the Praetorians again, but in different outfits, essentially? Like, would you feel kind of slighted?
No, because even if they talk, you cast the voice actor after who talks.
Mm-hmm. What if they don't talk though? Like, what if they're just like, they just fight just like the Praetorians and that's it?
No, because silent film. They don't need to talk. You don't need to talk. They could be very expressive, like Power Rangers.
Yeah,
But they could be very expressive in their motions and how they walk, how they move their weapons, and so forth. And so I don't think they necessarily have to talk. I do think if any of them do talk, it will be that one that was released as the 3/4 inch figure for, I think he's $17.99 at EB Games. The one with the staff from Solo, that guy. If any of them talk, I think he's the leader, because Brock and I, we did it 1313 for our Patreons yesterday, and we were looking at them, and in the Vanity Fair article, there's a picture of all the Praetorian guards, but his back is to the camera, so you only see his back.
Is he Grenade Face? Is he the front of the dictionary? Is that guy?
I think so. But it was curious why his face would be hidden from us when they had, they weren't making a big deal. And also, when you think about it, it's strange that the one picture they don't add in this extremely expensive Vanity Fair article is the Knights of Ren. Mm-hmm. Like, every other picture's in here with mediocre print quality, except for that one. And look, this one has like blood stains on it. Like, why is there blood stains on this?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
what lengths did you go to get that Vanity?
It was really. You wait till I get my Empire magazine. You'll see how it's just gonna be soaking. But these pictures look nice. But where are the Knights of Ren? Knights of Ren?
Oh, I love that Zori picture so much.
Yeah.
Here's a question though. Every Knight of Ren has a different helmet and a different weapon.
Yep.
So do you think we'll get like a 6-inch black series for each separate Knight of Ren?
Well, again, on the 1313 we did, Brock does show me Funko Pops for 5 of them. There are 5 Funko Pops. Each one of them are going to be available at different locations. You know what? Everyone's like, Star Wars figures don't sell. Star Wars figures don't sell. And what do we continually get? Rey, Kylo, Hux, Rose, Luke,
every gender
Luke,
or so in the world.
Luke, Han, Luke. Like, that's what we get. How many Lukes are there? There's like 77 Luke figures, right? Mm-hmm. How do you these characters look super cool? Why would you not produce all of them? It would be, for me, that would be a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, and that makes me curious, because like, if they produce every Knight of Ren as a separate figure, again, I don't know what we're going to get in this movie. I don't know what the visual dictionary is going to say about them, but do they have names? They do have names. It was confirmed by one of the store groups, I believe, on Twitter. They do have names, but nobody knows the names. The names were basically created for the visual dictionary, I believe. I don't think we're actually going to hear them at all. Oh, okay. And I'm assuming they're all going to be like Johan Ren. It's so on and so forth, like something Ren, you know? Yeah. I'm assuming. So that's cool. I like that they have names, because then that way, you walk into a Toys R Us, you don't have to like stare at the box to be like, is that the one I have? They're very similar. Like, just let it say Johan Ren on the box. Like, give us their name. in the supplementary material, you know?
I would like that. Let's get back to Kylo Ren and his mask. There's a lot of chat there's a lot of comments going on the chat about that. I found, where the heck did this receipt just go? Anyway.
Oh, there's a ghost.
No, this house is haunted. So anyway, absolutely, you've been here. This thing is
I have been there, but I haven't seen anything.
Come on Halloween. It is a haunted house, 100%.
Oh my god!
You haven't seen anything. You didn't sleep upstairs dude. It is haunted. Anyway.
Why am I only hearing about this now?
Because it scares me. I don't like being up here when it's dark out. That's why 7 p.m. in the summer it's light time. Now it's dark and I'm scared.
Oh jeez.
Anyway, so what I want to say is Kylo Ren with the helmet. A lot of people are talking about this, and I completely agree. The helmet is on when he is full dark side Kylo Ren. Rey, however, brings something out of him, and he removes the helmet. He is helmetless Kylo whenever Rey is around. She refers to him now as Ben Solo. I hope she continues to refer to him as Ben in The Rise of Skywalker. Do you hope so, Andrew, and do you think she will?
I think she will. I think she'll do it as like an insult, because now that he's Supreme Leader, like he's really trying to drive home that he is Kylo Ren, that he's this big, bad, mysterious figure who's all like shrouded and cloaked, and she's just gonna be like, yo, Ben, what's up? Like she's gonna say that to belittle him and like make him look kind of human in front of this army that he's trying to lead as this superhuman figure. She's definitely gonna do that.
Yeah. So is he being redeemed at the end of this movie?
He's being ambiguously killed off in a way that we don't know if he's redeemed or not. That's my verdict. I'm sticking to it.
I know everyone's gonna get mad, but I just don't see. I told you how I want the movie to end. But the more I think about it, the more the ending that I think is gonna be an ending for Rey. Mm-hmm. I do. I think it's gonna be an ending for Rey. I actually think the ending of this movie is gonna be more how I thought The Force Awakens was gonna end.
Which is...
I don't want to say it just in case I'm wrong.
Okay.
I don't want to be wrong. No, I just don't want to say it because I don't want to... We'll save that for another show. You know how I think it's going to end. Obviously, I've said multiple times I want R2-D2 to be shut down for good at the end of this movie. Mm-hmm. Or if he's not, he better come up in the next saga. He better be over in the next one. And you know what? Then he could... That's kind of what I wish Disney did with these movies is they're like, yeah, we're doing 7, 8, 9. And it was a passing of the torch, which it kind of is, but I wish it was a little bit more of a passing where they were like, instead of ending the Skywalker saga, they were like, yeah, Skywalker saga ended in Return of the Jedi. This is now the Rey saga. And they kind of, and then they kind of do that. And it could be the same movies that we're getting, just, yeah, I don't know. Am I greedy? Maybe. Most people say I am.
No, I don't think you're greedy. I think that makes a lot of sense. You could, if they had done it that way, if they had said, hey, Skywalker saga was 1 through 6, the Rey saga is 7 through 12, you can be a lot more flexible. All of a sudden, we don't have to worry about GVP being brought up. We don't have to worry about these connections. We don't have to worry about the fact that these last 3 feel vastly different from the first 6. We don't have to worry about that imbalance because it's the Rey saga now. It's this totally different thing that Luke and Han and Leia and Crix Maydeen just happen to be in every once in a while. So that would have been an alternate route that might have been even easier for them since this was their first stab at doing a Star War. But live and learn, I guess. I guess now we can only wait and see what Phase 2, for lack of a better term, is going to look like under this new management. But I think that they've taken their bruises, they've made their mistakes, and they've done a lot of things right as well. So I think now they've learned, and whatever the future is going to be even more streamlined and coherent than this was.
Yeah, I think the cool thing that they could have done with Star Wars is not end the saga, but be like, we're going to make more. And I just imagine if the next one was like Episode 21. Just like it's Episode 21. It's not the Skywalker saga that ended, but they won't do that. But that to me would just, I don't know. I just think that would be super awesome to see that happen. The end of the Skywalker saga. They're so like, it's the definitive ending. And that's what really throws me off a lot. Is what do you mean by that? How does it end? And is that in itself a red herring? Because like you just said, is this the end of the Skywalker saga? Does Ben Solo die? Rey or Rey learns everything from Luke Skywalker, and then Rey lives on, and she becomes something else, and it is now the Rey saga going forward. And it could be kind of cool if it was Star Wars Episode 1, The Rey Awakens, or something. If they started anew from there, which they won't do. But that would be cool to me too. I just think that the ending of this movie is going to end it all until obviously they need to go back to the well. But for now, at least 10 years, I would say 20 maybe. That this is dry. No more of this.
Yeah. Move on and show us the rest of the world, because there's a lot there. There's so much there. And I'm, as much as I like that canon is filling in the blanks of the Skywalker saga, I can't wait to just see more now. Speaking of which, did you hear about the comics, what they're doing? This has me kind of giddy, kind of happy.
Well, I know that you're excited about the Thrawn trilogy of books coming out, but the Empire Strikes Back you're talking about?
100% that Thrawn trilogy. I am already making it up in my mind. That's how much I'm looking forward to it. And I'll tell you, it is boring as hell up there too. No, I'm talking about the Empire Strikes Back, because all this time I've been like, okay, I'm really digging this Star Wars comic. It's fun, it's neat, it's exciting. But I'm like, okay, how many adventures are they possibly going to have in those 3 years between A New Hope and Empire? Like, get to Empire already, please. I've been just waiting for that to happen. And now they finally announced, they're ending with, I think, issue 75, which is out in like a month and a half. That is going to end the series that we've had. Then they're going to have a one-shot comic that's like an extra big comic. It's like 40 pages or something, which takes place right after Empire. Like, I think the first panel is going to be like Luke getting his hand chopped off. And then they're rebooting that Star Wars comic. I don't know if it's going to be called like Volume 2 or whatever, but it's going to be now between Empire and Jedi. And I think they're doing the same with the Darth Vader thing. So they're going to be the Rebels between Empire and Jedi, and Vader between Empire and Jedi. And that's a blank that we have not really seen filled in new canon at least. And the possibilities there are juicy, James. There's a lot of juice to be worked with there. I've been singing its praises since back in like 2015 when they did it in the comic. But there's two moments in Star Wars that we never saw that we needed to see because they were so important. One of them was Vader finding out that his son was alive, and we got that in the comic. The other one we haven't got yet, but if Disney Plus knows what they're doing, they will. And that is Obi-Wan finding out Anakin survived the lava. And I'm so glad that the comic gave us one of those, because it's still one of the best Star Wars moments as far as I'm concerned, like ever. So more of that, please. Keep it up, Marvel.
I like Shadows of the Empire.
Prince Gizor, he's pretty rapey, but other than that, it's a pretty good book.
He is, actually. It's kind of... And there's that Luke Skywalker Rey scene where he does the same thing Rey does. Very cool stuff coming up. Yeah, that was all announced at New York Comic Con. I'm not going to read it, just going to be honest with you, but I'll find out what happens. You will tell me, Brock will tell me. I will know what's going on down there. I don't read it because I'm not going to lie to you. I still don't know where the hell to buy a comic where I live. No idea. Cannot find a comic shop. Found like multiple video game stores, a Walmart, 2 Walmarts, Canadian Tire. Cannot find a comic book store. No idea where it is. I'm just like, so, maybe I'll get the digital copy, and I'm like, no. And so I don't know where to get it where I am, which is kind of a problem. I just hope that when they use that comic, they're going to throw in Maz Kanata getting a hold of lightsaber. I'm imagining at some point. And I hope that is not just a comic reference. They have to mention that in the movie for me, because Maz Kanata is my least favorite Star Wars character on the whole totem pole of Star Wars characters. You have the best one, which is Jar Jar, and the worst one, which is Maz. She is, to me, useless. Where'd you get this lightsaber? That's a story for another day.
I hope right in the middle is Bor Gullet.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's list, he's really top for me.
He's the axis where everybody just stops.
Everybody. I still, you know what? I never really had a problem with him, except that he's like, it tends to lose one's mind. And 5 minutes later, Bodhi's like, I'm back. Like, why did you say temporarily loses one's mind? Anyway, no, Maz just has so many loose ends. Like, who's the girl? No answer. Where'd you get the lightsaber? Nah, tell you some other time. Then why bring those? Anyway, that's not. It's just why bring them up? That kind of knocks me. And then her castle burns down, and the next day she's in a union dispute.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
what
that got heated
union?
pretty quickly.
What union? Maybe she was trying to get the union to like pay for. I don't know. I don't even know. She's like, the union, you got to step in. You got to get them to rebuild my castle. They're like, no. She's like, okay, dispute. Jetpack.
All I know is her Force Awakens figure was all over Toys R Us on Force Friday, and I don't know why. I've never seen so many Maz Kanadas in one place. It was eerie. Yeah.
Well, they have Maz Kanata's on sale. Black Series is on sale at Walmart, so you can
there you go.
take that. The Union burned it down. It was the First Order, Heidi. Let's be real. Rural is staying true to Episode 9 is the end of it all. No more past that. But I mean, if they're going to make more Star Wars movies, that's all I'm saying is they can keep up the numerical what you have it. Are you getting Fallen Order opening day?
Not opening day. No, I'm waiting like summer 2020. Let that sucker drop down to like $30 and then I'll buy it. I'm excited. I am very excited. You saw my Black Series. That second sister is one of the most gorgeous toys I've ever seen. But sorry, EA, you're not getting the full $100 out of me anymore. That is unacceptable. You have not earned that.
Well, it's only you're so weird. Everyone is so weird. Every game, I have this stupid Spider-Man game that's like Game of the Year and all this nonsense, and I have to spend like $900 for a level. I'm like, yeah, and everyone bitches at EA because you don't have to buy anything. Makes no sense. Anyway, I'm moving on from that.
Besides, James, on November 17th, I think I'm going to be way too busy playing Shenmue 3.
Yes, that'll take up.
It's finally coming in the mail. So
that will take up all of your time. But you don't have a Shenmue podcast, so you have to get Fallen Order to discuss it on the podcast.
You don't know what I do on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, I do. You're on Twitter. It's a good time. This has been a lot of fun. We're talking about it. We're going to take a look at the chat here. I feel like Han when you okay, Michael, awesome.
Guys, chime in the chat if you want a Shenmue podcast.
I wonder
if one up.
I'm
not even joking. I will start one up right now.
Yeah, but I gotta say, Miles, 60 in the U.S. If you do the conversion, it's $80 in Canada. Andrew's being ridiculous. So we actually, if you guys want tips for American shoppers who live near the border, talking to you guys near the border, video games are cheaper for you to buy in Canada. But you have to deal with the French text on the box.
On some of the boxes, it's so random.
Yes, that's true.
Very random. Yeah.
What I don't understand is when they're like English and French, but then you flip it and it's just in French.
Yeah.
Like what?
The reason I say 100 is because James is right. $60 converts to about $80 here. When you walk into a store, the price tag will usually say $79.99. But remember, we pay a lot of tax here. We pay more tax than you guys do, and it comes out to around like 97 and change when all is said and done. So for me, that is way too much to drop on a company that gave me Battlefront and Battlefront 2. Yeah. So no, thank you. And to be fair though, I do that with most games. I wait till most games are cheap. The only one that I don't wait for is Assassin's Creed because I'm like obsessed with it. And
that's like the first one. Yeah, but
so,
Assassin's Creed you could get always Black Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna get NHL, NBA, and FIFA Black Friday, $40, $30.
Sports game.
And they just come out, and I get them so cheap.
I just want to be able to make my own team, call it what I want, call the players what I want, give them like big mustaches, whatever, and design the logo. But I don't think any game lets you do that.
I don't know. Heidi's saying that it's a pain to get back in the U.S. Try getting back to Canada. I hate coming back into my own country, by the way. It's the worst. We gotta do a road trip to the States though. We gotta do a road trip. We gotta go to Target. We gotta go all like FYE, all the stores we can't get here, and look at all the exclusives we can find. And do like a Rebel Scum. We could do a Rebel Scum meetup wherever. We should do it. Like we could either do it.
Wicked.
We could do it in like upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
We should do it in the Hamptons. So we'll do like New York or like Ohio, or Connecticut's kind of cool. Connecticut has good pizza, I heard. New Hampshire, we could compare. We could do like a maple syrup off. I hate maple syrup, but we could do like Canadian maple syrup versus New Hampshire maple syrup. We could go to Maine and just do like a Stephen King tour, Just go around.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've never seen the Eastern Seaboard there. I like that. I like the sound of New England.
Detroit. Detroit. I went to Detroit last year for a Lions game. This is a side act bar. This year, the weekend I went to go see a Lions game is Canada Day at the Lions game, and you get a free like winter hat with the. I'm like, ah. Oh. So anyway, I'm a Jets fan. I hate the Jets. They're not going to win a game this year.
Who's playing tonight again? Is it Cleveland and somebody else? Yeah. Is tonight the Cleveland game? Okay.
And San Fran.
San Francisco, and then next week is apparently the week, and that is whose?
Next week you got the Lions. You got your Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. So you got
okay, yeah. All right, that's the one. That's the one.
That's actually a good game. I'm gonna go for the Lions because I have a lot of friends from Windsor, and Windsor they cross the border and they go there. Then they have great. They have great there's a few great Mexican restaurants in Detroit. It's great.
I will Mexican all over there. That is all I'll be eating. That's if you give me the choice between tacos and anything, even if that anything was like free money, I would probably take the tacos. I'm just putting that out there.
Everyone is a tacos fan in Windsor. Yeah. No, wait. Tacos or pizza?
Tacos.
Tacos on pizza? Tacos over pizza, hey? Wait, what kind of tacos do you like?
Well, I like first and foremost, I like burritos. I like the soft shell. But tacos, I like when you can get a shell that's like coated with like lime and pepper and stuff. Then I put some beef in there, some pork, the veggies, the usual stuff. I'm not a huge guacamole fan. I can take or leave guacamole, but I want spicy and tangy. That's where my head is at. I want to taste some lime and I want to taste some like chipotle and some nice spice. If I get that, I'm doing okay.
You should go to Detroit. They have great Mexican food. Pizza in New York is good. Depends on where you get it in the city. That's true. I've had pizza from like 20 pizza places in New York, Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn. Brooklyn has some good ones actually. There's some good ones. Deli sandwiches though. Also, I did go to Detroit for a NHL Finals game against Pittsburgh, Jonathan, and Detroit won that game, and then they lost the series, and Pittsburgh won the Stanley Cup that year. But I went to a game because it was a Stanley Cup final game was cheaper to go to than a Toronto Maple Leafs regular season game, and that was like 9 years ago now, 8 years. It was a long time ago now, and so think about that one.
Wow. I did not know that.
This really derailed.
It did.
Aaron Quinton says hi, by the way.
Hi, Aaron Quinton.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to do a road trip to a border town. We got a lot of suggestions here. Maybe we'll just do we'll do a U.S. tour. We'll just on our own dime. We'll just tour.
You've been reading my bucket list, sir.
All board. Actually, well, Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. I'm gonna start San Fran. I'm gonna go to San Fran and then drive down to Anaheim. The Pacific Coast Highway is the most beautiful drive of all time, and then you get to stop in Carmel for fantastic tiny wineries, not tiny wines, tiny wineries. It's fantastic.
Pacific Coast Highway is where they filmed a lot of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, and that's one of my favorite movies. So I'm jealous now.
Okay, Aaron Quinton has a Never Tell Me the Odds for us. Luke, Anakin, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Force Ghosts appear in The Rise of Skywalker. Also, everybody, including Brock Smink, wants... everybody wants us to go to Ohio, and Brock wants you guys to sell us and go to Ohio. So, Fantasia, tell me, will we be getting Luke, Anakin, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Force Ghosts, all of them appearing in The Rise of Skywalker?
99%. It's gotta happen. It's the end. Let's get it. Let's get this party started. I see no good. We know Luke is going to be in it. We've had Yoda. There's no good reason why we can't have Yoda back. Yes, Obi-Wan and Anakin are the wild cards, but you know what? There's no good reason not to have them other than the actors being like, nah. And from the looks of things, those actors wouldn't be like, nah. They'd be down. So, yeah. Faux show.
Sorry, just reading the live chat. Look, I want to say yes, but I don't know if we're going to get them all. So I'm going to go 71%.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Yeah, everybody's talking about poutine in the chat now. I'm just seeing. I just look and I see poutine. Give me Hayden or I riot. Totally with you, Lauren. Absolutely. I said that. I've been saying that since today. Like just like right now. That's no. I thought we were getting him in Last Jedi. So how do you end a Skywalker saga without the original Skywalker?
I thought we were getting him in Rogue One. Remember we saw that back to tank and we were all like, he's in there. And
yeah, I was disappointed he didn't turn to show his face. That was like my big takeaway from Rogue One. I'm like, well, they didn't show his face.
Yeah.
Corn whiskey for me every time. Okay, the chat's getting awesome. We're gonna wrap it up. We should wrap this up. Do you guys think that the Rise of Skywalker stuff that we're seeing is all a bunch of red herrings? Are they telling us anything truthful in any of the marketing? Are the toys just one big lie? Are any of these characters that we're excited for even characters? Are there more are the big characters still to come? There's no if you think about it, no Claude in any of the promotional stuff. What's the J.J. Abrams' best friend, Greg Grunberg? Snap Wexley hasn't been in, we've seen that one shot of him and Claude. Who knows what's going on? Where did these Resistance people come from? They called them in Last Jedi. Nobody came. There was no one around. Obviously, they show up. Where were they? What are they keeping from us? There's so much that they're keeping from us. These conversations are going to keep going. Andrew, you're going to do a Mandalorian video that's going to go up tomorrow night. Just a short little video. We're going to start a new series starting every Tuesday until the debut of The Mandalorian called Who is the Mandalorian?
That's right. We're going to find out who's under the mask. And we got some ideas. Who it might be, but we'll save that for Countdown to Mandalorian. It's going to be exciting. We're really close.
All of them are Babu Frick. I think there's only 30, 34, 35 days until Disney Plus hits us.
Mm-hmm.
We all get it. And where's the Matt Smith Black Series figure? On that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Because Matt Smith is probably in this movie, but why he lied about it, we'll never know. Thanks everybody for watching. Please give us a like and a subscribe. Let's keep voting for the city you want us to go to and offer us the best foods. So far we have Detroit with Mexican food. We got Buffalo with some wings. Ohio, I don't know. You got Buckeyes, you got Browns, you got Blue Jackets. What else you got? I don't even want to talk about your baseball team because we're in a feud.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And may the force of others be with you.
Always, I guess.
I don't even know how to end it anymore.